Hey friends, let's do Stranger in a Strange Land, guitar lesson by Iron Maiden. I'll talk you through all the guitar parts and do the main solo and the outro solo at the end, all with on-screen tab and chord charts to make it easy to follow along. So let's make a start, let me play the intro, then we'll break it down. So we're starting there with a slide, play the open E, then we're doing an E power chord, 7 on the A, 9 on the D, and we're going to pull off to 8 on the D. Do a palm mute on the open E, 7th fret A and D, palm mute on the open E, then we're playing 9A, 7 on the D, and we're going to hammer on to 10 on the A. So slowly. Then we're going to do that first part again, open E, 7 and 9, pull off to 8, palm mute on the E, 7 and 7, now do 2 palm mutes on the open E, and go back to 5 on the A and the D. Then we repeat that all again. Now we do the 2 E palm mutes, this time we play 5 on the A, 5 on the D, 7 on the G and 8 on the B. Then go back to the first one and repeat that again. Do the first part again. Now to finish off we're going to play the open E, 7 and 9, 7 and 8 and then 7 and 7 on the A and the D string. Then we're going to play the open A, hammer onto 2, hammer onto 3. Play 2nd fret on the D, open G, and then we're doing this G chord, we're just going to play the 2nd fret on the A, open D, open G, 3rd fret on the B. Repeat that again. Do a slide, back to our first riff again. And then we finish again like we just did. And repeat that little C riff again. And that's our intro there. Then we have our verse, let me play that for you. So we're just doing on the A string 5, hammer onto 7, and then playing the open E. And then we're just playing the 7th fret on A, D, G and B. Hold that and then we repeat that again. Now to finish it off we have this little fill on the B string, 8, 7, 9 on the D, 7 on the G. And the harmony is on the E string, 7, 5, G, 7, B, 8. And that's our verse there. Then we have our pre-chorus, let me play that for you. Before we go on, if you're enjoying the lesson, please like and subscribe and say good day in the comments. We have new songs and lessons every week. You can also make a small donation on my Patreon page and that really helps the channel out. So let's get back into it. So we're just doing our C riff again, the open, hammer onto 2, hammer onto 3, 2, open, and then to our G. Do that again. Then we're doing a slide. Now this time we're going to play the open E string, hammer onto 3, hammer onto 5, play 5 on the A, and then do 5, pull off to 3 on the E, and play an E power chord. Do 2 palm mutes on the open E, and then do A, open, hammer onto 2. So slowly. again, open, 5, pull off to 3, and then just the E power chord and hold, and do that 2 times, so slowly. And that's our pre-chorus. Then our second verse is exactly the same except for the fill at the end. We have, so we have on the B, 8, 7, G, 7, D, 7. Our harmony is on the E, 7, 5, B, 7, G, 7. And that's our second verse. Then from there we have the next pre-chorus. Let me play that for you. So the start's exactly the same as our last pre-chorus. Now slide. Now this time do the C riff again. Do 2, pull off to the open on the A, and then just do a B power chord build up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and move up 1 fret to the C, and we're doing down, down, up, down, down, up. Move up 2 frets to the D power chord and do the same thing. So that last little part. And then from there we have our chorus. So it's exactly the same as our intro, except we don't go to the C riff. We're leaving that part out, we're just finishing on the open E, 7 and 9, 8, 7 and 7 and 7. And that's our chorus there. Then from our chorus we have the next verse, and that's the same as the second verse. We have the pre-chorus, which is exactly the same as the pre-chorus, and then we have this little bridge, so let me play that for you. So it's the same pattern we used before, we're just starting on the A power chord, to the B power chord, up 1 fret to the C power chord, to the D power chord, up 2 frets, to the E power chord, up 2 frets again. Then we're going to come up to 9 on the A, 12 on the D, same pattern. And then come up to a G power chord, so 10, 12 and 12. Then up to an A power chord, so up 2 frets again, 12, 14 and 14. Go back to the C power chord, D power chord, E power chord. Now come up to the 9 and 12, just do it 2 times. And come up to the 10 and 12, so that last little part. And then we're going back to the B power chord and doing a build up, 2 and 3 and 4 and the C and the D. And that's our bridge there. So from there we go back to our second chorus, we do that exactly the same, and then we have our solo, which we'll do at the end. Let's have a look at the solo rhythm first. So we don't play in that first part of the slow solo there, and then when we kick in, we start on the D power chord and just do a build up for 2 bars on 8th notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then play an E minor, we're going to play the B string, the G string, the D, and then the A on that E minor, and then just play 8, 9, 9 again. So then we're going to a D power chord, and we're going to play 7 on the B, 7 on the G, and then 8 on the B, 7 on the G, 7 on the B, 7 on the G. So then repeat that again, the D. Then come back to a C power chord, play the E, 3, B, 5, G, 5, play it again, and do that again. Then come back to the D and do the same thing we just did. And then we just go back to the E minor and we repeat that all again. And that's our solo rhythm. From there we go back to the bridge and we just do that exactly the same. And then from there we have our chorus and we just keep repeating that to the end. So let me play that for you. And just keep repeating that until it fades out. Now let's have a look at the solos. So that's the first part of the solo. We're going to be on the B string, slide up to the 12th fret, play 13, 12, hammer onto 13, pull off to 12, G string, 14, 12, 11, 12, 14, D, 12. Stay in the D string, 14, jump to B, 12, 13, 12, 12 on the G. So the first part. B, 13, stay in the B, 12, hammer onto 13, pull off to 12, G, 14, 12, then do a bend on 14, release and pull off to 12, and then go back to 12, and then we're just pulling, sorry, go back to 14 there, and then we're just pulling off the 12, D string, 14, 12, pull off, A string, 14, 12, pull off and slide down. So that last little part. Then do a bend and release on 17, B, 16, G. Go back to B, 17, E, 14, 15, 17, 15, pull off to 14, back to 15, 14, B, 15, G, 14. Two bends on 20 on the E. And just play 20, 19, 20 on the B. Play the 20 again on the B. E, 17, 19, 20, 19, and then do a bend on 20 on the B. And that's the first part of the solo. Now let's play the next part. So we're starting with two bends on the 15 on the E, and then just play 15, pull off to 12, 12B, 12E, do a bend on 15B, and then go back to 12E, B, 15, 12, bend on 14 on the G, and then do 12B, 12E, 15, pull off to 12 on the B, and then do a bend and release on the 14G, pull off to 12, and then 14 on the D, 12 on the G. So that part slowly with the bends. Then we've got the D string, 14, 12, 14, D12, A14, D12, A string, 14, 12, 14, stay on the A string, 12, 10, 12, 10 on the A, 12 on the E, 10 on the A, 12, 10 and slide down. Then we're on the E string, 12, 10, 12, 10 to the A string, 12, 10, 12, 10 to the D string, 14, 12, 14, 12, G string bend, then do a bend on the 14 again, release, pull off the 12 with a pinched harmonic, play 14, 12 to the D, 14, 12, then we're doing a bend on 14 G again. Now we've got this quick little part here, B string, we do 7, pull off to 15, G, 16, 14, 16, and you can do that with legato there, so. And then do bend on 15 on the B, and do that 4 times. And then just play 15, go to 12 on the E, do a bend on 15 on the E, pull off to 12, release, pull off to 12, 17 bend on E, bend it again, and then bend it a 3rd time, and then just play 17, 15, 17, so. And then do 15 E, 17, pull off to 15 on the B. Then we have a bend on 20 on the E, 2 times. Just play 20, 19, 20 B, back to E, 17, 19, do a bend on 20, play 20, 19, 20 on the B, back to E, 17, 19, 17, do a bend on 20 on the B, play 17, play 19, pull off to 17 on the E, 20 B, 17 E, now do a bend on the B string 20, flip your bar. Now this guitar doesn't flick all that well with the bar, so we're holding the bend up, flicking it, bend again, then play 17 on the E, 20 on the B, 17, 19 G, 17 on the B, do a bend on 20 on the B, release, pull off to 17, and then just play 19 G and slide back to 9 there. And that's that second part of the solo. Now we have the outro solo, let me play that for you. So I'm going to start with B, string 15 bend, E12, B15, E12, B15, B12, do a bend on 14 on the G, 12 on the B, then do 14, pull off to 12 on the G, and then 14 D. Then we play 7 on the G, and we're going to use our bar, let it come in, and then 8, pull off to 5 on the B. Then jump to the D, do a 7 half bend, pull off to 5, slide back to 2. So do a bend on 8 on the E, and then do 10, pull off to 8, slide back to 5 on the B. Come up to the E, 12, B, 12, bend on 15, play 12 again on the E, 15, pull off to 12 on the B, 15 bend, then jump to 17 E, do 3 bends, and the 3rd one do a bend and pull off to 15, and bend and release there, then jump to 20 on the E, 2 times, bend, then come back to the 15 on the B, bend, 12E, 15B, 12B, do a bend on 14G, 12B, back to the G, bend and release on 14, pull off to 12, 14 on the D there, and then to finish it off we're really starting to fade out there. Play 12A, 10, hammer onto 12, pull off to 10, slide back to 7. So. And that's our outro solo there. And they're all our parts. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed Stranger in a Strange Land guitar lesson. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, and I'll see you soon.